Hello and welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. Yay! For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So, if this is not something you want to watch, for some reason, you haven't caught on for 3 years, um, well, there are suggestions, either the right or the left, depending on if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch. If you're not watching this on either of those, well, sorry, you're stuck with us. We'll do our best. But if you're actually here because you want to be here, because you want to watch Dungeons and Dragons, you want to watch people playing Dungeons and Dragons, you want just watch us, that works also. Whatever the reason, so long as you're polite in the chat, it's a pleasure to have you with us. We're glad you're here, and we hope you'll have a pleasant evening. Night, day, depending on where you are. You might not even have nights or days. Who knows what type of time measurements you would have on another world. Who knows? Maybe aliens are watching us. Maybe in 5,000 years the signal would get to another planet, and they're going to be watching this very episode. It's the only way they have to contacting the outside world. Watching us. I'm so sorry if that's all you have.
Crap here. I blocked all your doors. Your fault.
Well, you don't know. They may be stuck in a orbital station somewhere halfway between this solar system and another solar system 1,000 years away from us at the speed of light. So imagine the speed of sound radio waves, and that's everything they have. That's all they're gonna have, stuck in this little satellite.
Every Wednesday.
Have to wait 1 week. The rest of the time it's just static. You guys fireball and confine area with your whole party. You get a wish. Well, it depends on your wish, but that's definitely a possibility. Let's just say that it's a very specific kind of wish that you get. Only one type. Those we'll leave it at. Just in case some people haven't experienced it, we'll let them explore this.
I wish with all my heart to fly with dragons in a land apart.
It could work, depending on how you've been in life. So, if you want to watch this craziness coalesce into Dungeons and Dragons for some reason, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us. For the publicities, if you like the background ambiance, Ambient Mixer. It's free, so long as you use it as ambiance and don't try to sell it. You only have to pay for it once when you download it after creating it or picking it from someone else. For world map, it's Wonder Draft, and for battle map, it's Dungeon Alchemist. And that's the publicities. And I see no one's eating tonight. That's disappointing. That means we don't have a sponsor. Oh, chicken. Good. Well, chicken is sponsoring us.
Coffees.
Oh, well, that's a dessert. That's the second half of the episode.
Yeah.
We're being sponsored by chicken for the first part and by Taki the second part. All right, so let's cut the.
What are you talking about? We know who the dessert is.
Come on, I didn't want to spoil it for anyone. All right. So okay, so this is what we've been doing for a while. So, what happened last episode?
That looks so good.
Oh, it depends on the point of view. Last episode, our party went on an information gathering mission again. Having learned about the possible fate of their guide, Siv, through rumors circulating around town, our heroes decided to gather more information while they were waiting for night to fall. Much was learned by both half of the party, because in case you forgot, they also had split the party, because nothing bad can ever happen when you do this. Although some information overlapped, they learned the possible location of those who might have hunted their friend, as well as this guild being old acquaintances of our adventurers. You know, they've tried to kill them once, twice before.
Okay.
Now
I
that
tried to kill them, to be fair.
well, yeah, well, only the second time. You know, the first time you just scared them.
Mm-hmm.
Now that night has fallen, however, it is time for our party to start preparing their train theft. Because I'm not sure we can call it a heist if you're stealing the train itself. I'm not sure. So, I believe we left off when we're told you need to pay for your room because kitchen was being closed and someone was going to stay on the first floor of the inn where you are. I've been doing inn maps, so you'll be able to see this one day. Now I only have the inn for the villages, so sorry, it's a little bit small for what you have right now, but eventually.
Little town in a quiet village.
So far, they haven't really been murder hobos. Although they've been talking a whole lot about blowing stuff up for the past year.
I mean, to a certain degree, if you consider monks to be a certain kind of hobo.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And that particular monk has committed a lot of murders.
We've decided...
A murderer is not a hobo, okay?
Well, apparently we have someone in chat who thinks that there should always be a murder hobo in a group. So...
I have killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Innocent people. Lives have been taken.
Well, at least so far you haven't tried to kill store owners. Just people arriving in the street trying to talk to you.
And fight me. Jeez, forgot about that part.
Alright, so I believe you have been left there, all of you, not just Tobiashi, at the first floor of this inn.
Well, after that conversation, maybe we should reconsider leaving Tobiashi.
No, I haven't had the urge to kill lately, so we're fine.
Anyway, you're supposed to be Remy's wingman in this endeavor to find a way to steal a train without killing anyone. So, I believe you're all there at the first floor and are ready to step out of the inn. The train station is not too far. The maintenance pit, maybe just a few steps further than the train station itself. So, what are you doing?
How do we want to do this?
Any additional preparation? Or are you just joyfully stepping out, singing at 11:30 at night? Well, no, it's getting pretty dark there. Winter is very close, so probably more like 9:30.
I think we should sacrifice someone so we could get good luck for this mission, guys. It's not like I'm starting a cult or anything.
No. He says.
I mean, if you're volunteering, that's entirely up to you, my guy.
No, it's fine. So how exactly are we going to do this? Do we need to get the layout of the place first, or are we just going to wing it?
Yeah, do we have a map?
I look at Remy.
Well, if you look at Remy after saying, are you going to wing it, it's sort of insensitive.
Hey, there's a very familiar looking kitchen knife sticking out of his pocket.
Remy literally can't wing
walk
it
away
because he doesn't have wings, and he has to copy stuff that's been done before.
It's tragic. But anyways, But yeah, do we need like a floor map or?
I mean, I think we can just kind of scope it out.
Alright.
How big is it?
I don't know. I've never been there.
Well, you're at a you're in essentially in a town, so it's not going to be as big as the one that was in the large city.
Way station.
Yeah. It's not going to be as large as one in the process in a large city, because they don't receive the same quantity of train, especially this one here, where it's been years probably since the last person who decided to keep on going. You mostly have people arriving and probably leaving on the same train, so probably not that big, but you don't have visual confirmation. All you have, Fisher, is the research that you did, letting you deduce that it's probably much smaller than in the process, but it's large enough to have everything you need to make maintenance on a train. It's just not large enough to make maintenance on several trains all at once.
Mm-hmm. Is there anybody out and about?
At this
This
time, not a lot, no. You might have a few stragglers who got drunk with a friend trying to make their way home. But most people will be in their home at this time of the... Since you're that close to winter, at this time of night. You're going to have guards at the entrance, and you might have a melee or two patrolling the town.
We're not aware of any actual like curfew, are we?
So far, no. You're not aware of one, but there does seem to be a unspoken curfew of go to bed not too far after the night has fallen, because the moon are rarely ever seen unless they're completely full, and it's only going to be a slight luminescent vapor in the sky because the mist is too thick. So it's always it becomes extremely dark really fast once the sun is set. And since you are probably the equivalent of beginning of December, more like in Canada than in the middle of the United States, it's probably starting to get dark as early as 5 o'clock, 5:30. And it's night, so it's getting cold.
Yeah. I don't care. I actually use my ring, unlike some of these other weirdos.
I'm using mine.
I think we should, like, hop out, the window or something, as opposed to just walking out the front door.
Well, me, you, and Jorg are in the. I was gonna say shed.
Oh, right. We're in the
Stables.
stable, the barn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you've all reconvened somewhere, either inside of the inn
Yeah.
or the barn.
I'd say the barn. Probably. After getting everybody's rooms.
Yeah. So,
Sly Cooper heist music starts playing. I don't think we will.
Alright. We want to head over there. One thing I just kind of thought about was I can also, I'm not super good at hiding, but I can just pretend to be like a melee and just be patrolling or out and about and probably not draw as much attention.
Well, you know that you. I was gonna say you can do that, but no, your armor would set you apart really easily.
I have disguise self.
Okay, well,
Is
in that
kind of
case.
what I'm. Yeah. Because otherwise I assume like I'm a construct, but I assume I am visually distinct from a mill.
Yeah, I think even Raimi's comment would have been like, I mean, if you squint in the dark alley.
I can use magic, is the thing.
I never knew you could use magic. That's new.
He says after having been defeated in a duel with Misty Step.
I never knew you had such a good sense of humor.
No. On late nights when I'm not with you guys, I'm usually at the comedy club.
Big gnomes love it.
I always get kicked out for some reason.
That tracks.
What's the deal with train line food?
All right.
Okay, we gotta head over there.
Let's do it.
Raimi has closed a book as he has ritually cast comprehend languages again, just in case.
Okay.
All right.
Should I put on my mask, or would that make me stand out?
Well, seeing how you describe your mask being completely white with one eye being purple and the other one having a swirly thing moving around when it's active, maybe you're slightly visible when you're wearing it.
They won't know who I am. I'm the ghost of the town now.
Why are you wearing your mask?
No, I only put it on if I need
Okay.
something with it. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be the one that's going to be doing all that.
Okay. Hey, Valenvi has arrived. Hello.
And then I guess I'll cast disguise self on myself
Okay.
and make me look like Mill-E.
This...
Like $1 million.
Yeah.
All right. So this stern-looking construct with something that feels like a knight's helm, with a single slit for the eyes, and a slight red glow through the joints. So, you leave out. Where do you stand with the group? Are you moving with them? Are you moving away from them? You want to pretend that you're leading them there? Do you want to leave them to their own business, just to not draw attention on them? You want to burst out in dance?
I think I will just be like ahead of them, like a ways ahead of them, just to kind of make sure the coast is clear going for it. Why isn't this working?
All right, so for those of you who do not want to be seen, I will have you make a stealth roll. For those of you who do not care about being seen, well, you don't need to make a stealth roll.
Yeah, you just like a player's just like, DM, I'd like to be seen. Go ahead and make a
I only
performance
got
roll.
an 8. So Drew's just gonna look non.
24.
obvious.
Okay.
Things you could do to change that.
18 plus 6.
Okay.
You want me to cast Pass Without a Trace?
I don't need it. I'm disguised as a robot. You're the
Mhm.
ones trying to be sneaky.
I got a 10.
I think you should
Okay, I passed.
cast Pass
Yeah.
Without a Trace.
I hear some thumping, and I'm like,
I think you
okay.
should basically always cast Pass Without.
And
Yeah.
what about you, Remy?
There's almost, unless it's a long day and we're actively not, or trying to not use resources. But
What about you, Remy? What did you
Yeah.
roll?
I also rolled a 24.
24, alright. So essentially you have Tobiyashi and Remy just turning around and just melding into the shadows. Jorg wondering if he should use Pass Without a Trace, and then he looks at the group leaving. He already doesn't see Tobiyashi and Remy, but he sees audience turning around and BAM! In the door. Okay, I should cast it.
Well, I trip over like a twig on the ground.
It's a mess
Yeah.
back there. Let's see, Remy.
Yeah, I cast it so just for audience and I.
Alright, so
Like, look out, a distraction.
audience now has a 20. And for Jorg, that gives
An
you
18.
18. So 28 in total? Or did you roll 8?
I rolled an 8, so I have an 18 total.
It's even worse than audience. You saw him turn around and slam in the door, and you just started laughing, and you turned around and you slammed at the same door as him. You don't know why, but you're laughing.
It was
in
a
the
double
shadows.
door. I didn't even realize it.
Actually, it's like one of those like hotel rotating doors where
Slams into my bag.
You're not sure. You're not sure exactly who laughed because you heard laughing in the shadows. You know, it sounded like Tobiyashi, but you know that Remy's gonna sound like Tobiyashi if he wants to laugh like him. So it's not. All right, so you all disappear into the shadows of the street and do your best to not being seen. With Fisher moving way ahead, making it look like that you're just trying to make your patrol. So, being the first up, you immediately notice after maybe 6 or 7 steps that there's another male E making its rounds in this town. For those new mil E's, the reason why I keep separating mil E's, it's because MIL.E. That's what's written on the machines.
Mm-hmm.
So you see one of these mil E's walking the other direction, walking toward you, the opposite direction. So you simply
Wait.
What?
Walking.
Toward you. He's walking in the opposite direction of you. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes, that is okay.
So seeing this unit arriving. Oh, I'm gonna say. Well, I'm gonna ask, what are you going to do as you see it arrive?
I don't think I've ever really seen them interact, right? I mean, they're not really. They're not like human guards on patrol that like might chat and stuff.
Well, you've always seen them guarding things, and they're very susceptible to the orders of Civ-E's and Mar-E's. You've seen them sometime keep going on an order, even though it's not the best solution for the problem. So, draw the conclusion that you want. You see them talk when someone talks to them, or them ask you where you're going, but you've never seen any enforcer just start chatting with one another.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think I'm just like not gonna really acknowledge it and just kind of keep going.
Alright, then I'll have you roll Deception with advantage.
Oh, thank you.
Because that was the right answer.
Mile
Okay,
and
do you have
way,
any
boys.
spare
Mile
oil?
and way.
My joints are really rusted.
Alright. I'm gonna use my coin.
Oh no! On an
So this
advantage roll.
doesn't. Well, it was 9 or a 2, so.
Well, you know.
12.
All right. So, as you see it arriving, you have that moment of reflex of, you know, you're not supposed to, but usually when you meet a guard in another city, you have at least the reflex of saying something like, "Good night." And you have that initial moment of, mm-hmm. The unit looks at you for a brief moment. Looks around. And keeps on walking.
Nothing to report.
Don't worry, guys. I didn't blow it immediately before it started.
No, and you're lucky because I rolled a 12.
Cool.
You just made it. Your coin has just saved you from being noticed.
Meanwhile, someplace far away, Raimi feels vindicated for the gifts he gives the party.
Alright.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Once I get a little bit past him, assuming I don't see anybody else around, I'm going to cast message back towards wait, I don't have to.
you don't have to see them. You just have to know that
Yeah.
they're there and that they're in range.
Yeah, back towards audience and let them know that the Millie's coming.
Okay. I guess I will continue to stealth and try and be more stealthy.
Thank you. Thanks to Pass Without a Trace, audience probably has that moment of, got it. Don't worry, guys. There's a Millie coming. But fortunately, the Pass Without a Trace muffles the sound.
Yeah.
The Jorky there, oh, I would have made the same mistake. Keeps on walking. Alright, so you easily manage to move away from that Millie arriving, thanks to the Fisher's warning. Although you're pretty sure you would have been able to move past it without being seen. He seems to be very focused on moving forward, and he's not paying too much attention to what's on each side. But who knows? Maybe it would have been enough to be seen. Because getting a warning did reduce the DC for... did increase, the DC for him to see all of you. So, maybe the DC saved you. Maybe not. You're not sure. But you keep on moving. It's not a very long walk. Maybe 10-15 minutes before you start seeing the train station. And just behind it, there is a... You feel like it nearly looks abandoned, but you do see a faint light in one of the sheds around the maintenance pit. But other than that, the place looks deserted, abandoned. But it's behind the train station, where there is, as always, at least 2 Mill-E's watching people embark or disembark. Right now, since it's in the night, no one's arriving, but they're still there, and they are all watching you. Well, not you specifically, but watching in the general direction you're going. And unfortunately, unless you want to make a very large detour, relatively speaking, you're probably going to have to find a way under their gaze. You can always make a detour, but it's several streets, and you're going to have to probably find a way to get in through a method that is not supposed to be the normal one. Which shouldn't worry Remy and Tobiashi too much, but Jorg and audience and Fisher.
I think I will get close-ish and then just turn as if I'm continuing my patrol down like a side street or something.
Okay.
And then once I'm out of sight, message audience again and let them know about that.
Alright.
I could redisguise self as like a civ unit and try and get them to move, but I'm also not good at lying, so it might be easier to try and go around.
Remy's with you, right? Not with me? Or no?
I thought Remy was
Okay,
And that's probably the exact reaction that you have seeing how high they rolled. Isn't he with you? No, I thought he was with you.
They were staying behind.
oh,
Pretty sure behind Fisher, but
I'll send
not
a message to Remy and
using my pen.
tell him kind of the same thing, and also, where are you?
Too busy.
You hear walk, walk, walk.
Okay.
Uh,
I guess we should go around then and not disturb.
Alright, so
Yeah.
Remy, so long as you're within 120 feet, you would be in range of hearing what Fisher says. The question is, do you want to answer with other than a sound that would be normally heard at the moment of the night? Maybe you want to do like Jorg did last time. He wanted to blend in, transform to a barn owl.
Mm-hmm.
That's more
yes, the
drunker.
burp. That's always an appropriate response.
I want to hear that message. Remy, are you there?
Honestly, when you say message, like you're actually like using the message cantrip, or
yes, the message cantrip.
All right, then you get a response like in a sing-songy woman's cheery voice, like busy.
I feel like you've heard that before in an inn.
All right. I will trust him on that. And then I guess I'll start making my way around the long way.
Tobiashi, you're probably with Remy because you rolled nearly the same thing.
I'll let Remy lead the way.
Alright. Remy, you're the leader of this expedition now. You've just been promoted. You're no longer commander. You're captain.
He'd like to say a few words at his inaugural speech.
I don't know why, but I just keep hearing the obituary in Men in Black 3, I think, when Zed dies, and she quotes what the alien said about him. Good times.
But Raimi knows better than going through the front door, so
All right.
Usually there are fewer traps at anything but the front and back door.
So you start making your way around. It takes a little bit of time, maybe a good 20 minutes, until you manage to completely circumvent the train station and then find a place where the fence would be. And there's a little bit of a junkyard feel to this. The fence is kept functional, but there are a few places where you'd feel like audience would just be able to walk through that hole, busting through the fence, because he's so massive, and just because you'd like to see him do this, because it's probably make his shirt rip off. There are a few places where the fence looks more fragile. Or you could decide to just scale it, climb over it, jump on the other side. You're not exactly sure what's on the other side. Like I said, it gives a junkyard feeling, a mix between graveyard and junkyard.
So Raimi's going to at least cover one base as he's going to poof into existence.
Okay.
And Raimi's going to gently place them just near this fence area. So before he ultimately decides to start scaling.
Okay. So he's there to
essentially this is a situation where even if he makes noise while he's doing this, people are going to assume that the cat did it.
Okay. And for now, the cat stays on the other side of the fence. Get it?
Yeah. Hopefully, he doesn't have to move from that spot. Because, almost in a certain way, he's making it conspicuous so that maybe, just maybe, if the other party members happen to pass by,
they'll see the
they'll
cat.
get the hint that.
So I'm getting that our cat is not trying to be stealthy. He's intentionally failing.
It is actively not trying to be stealthy for several reasons.
All right. Well, scaling a fence. I don't have a problem with Monk, because Monk can do their acrobatic things, and I'm just wondering how would it look. Can Remy actually use acrobatic to scale a fence? How would that look like?
I mean, I could always jump over first and then pick him up with my
Use
silk.
some silk.
That's always possible, yes.
Remy, do I have your consent to pick you up after I jump over the fence? I'm talking through it.
Honestly, I feel like Raimi, Almost like sounding like possibly like a school teacher, as he says, "Can you?"
Alright.
Yes, I can. And then I start putting my silk over.
Alright, so Tobiyashi ties the knot with Remy. I mean, around Remy.
Same difference.
Yeah, no, after all, you've been on a date. Well, you don't want to say it's a date. It was a date, but... So, you tie your silk around Remy, and... Acrobatics roll or athletic? For Monk, I can easily see how it's acrobatic, so I'm giving you a choice.
Okay.
I won't say no to the significantly better one.
It's 16 and it's athletic.
Okay. Athletic. Okay. Okay. All right. So you start scaling this little fence, and you have this brief moment where you were so confident when you started. You take a few steps, jump up, try and scale the wall. It almost feels like someone's watching American Ninja Warrior when they're trying to scale the wall at the end. And so you run up, you make one step on the wall, on the fence, and just as you're about to push yourself to reach the top, your foot just goes right through that part of the fence. It's completely rotten. And you have this moment where you have the, oh shit, and you see yourself starting to fall, grabbing part of the ledge of the fence, and one plank just ripping itself. You find yourself dangling on one arm, feeling like that was an adventure and a half. And then you start climbing again, and you manage to pull yourself up. The DC was 15.
Okay.
That's why it was so close. You managed to pull yourself up and jump down on the other side. And since it's... I could even say it's 40 feet down, and because you're a monk, it's not a problem. So, but it's not 40 feet down, so even less of a problem. So you immediately manage to find yourself on the other side. The wall is not more than probably 7 or 8 feet high.
Okay.
So
I throw my silk over the wall and wrap it around Remy and pull him up like I'm fishing.
You see the silk dangling like this, and you hear, here, fishy, fishy.
Actually, there's almost a second layer of insult there when you consider that often the bait used for fishing is like worms and other grubs.
But you're starting to get used to it. Tobiyashi doesn't mean ill.
It's starting to be like on the audience side of things where he's too dumb to actually be meaningfully insulting.
Yeah.
And if he goes too far, you have a knife that you can plunge into his guts and he won't die. He is starting to get used to that also. Alright, so you grab on.
Which maybe means that Raimi needs to up his game, but that's for another.
Alright, so you grab on. Tobiyashi starts pulling, and since it's your silk pulling, Tobiyashi, you can make a roll to pull Remy up. And Remy, are you helping Tobiyashi pull you up?
He's just hanging there.
Yeah, he could be hanging, or he could want to make it harder for you and start pulling in another direction.
I feel like Raimi has too much professional pride to fuck around right now.
All right, so Tobiyashi, you pull with advantage because it's your silk. It's your silk with proficiency.
Let's go.
What's your wisdom with proficiency? Sorry.
19.
All right.
13 plus 6.
All right. So you easily manage to pull Remy up. You see all of those little traps that you would that Remy you would have seen just looking at this. Seeing the fence is half rotten here. How did he miss that? That's never mind. And you are just pulled up, and then you just jump on the other side. Few minutes later, probably. Audience, Jorg. Fisher, did you try to rejoin with Jorg and audience to climb on the other side, or are you staying in the street making patrols?
I think I would. I don't think there's really a need for me to also be in there.
Okay.
So I think I would like patrol, just kind of, or I would have. I think I would try and meet up with them, but then just patrol where they go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, on the other side,
So that I can like let them know when it's time to leave, if it's still safe to use the same.
So on the other side, Tobiyashi and Remy. You look at this yard. You see why it's called a maintenance pit. It's both very dirty and slightly dug in. The rail are on level of the ground, but you see this large platform that seems to be that you can probably rotate. And you've been on it once or twice before, but you've never actually seen it perform. You just felt it because you were in the train. It's a large gear with the rails sticking out so the train can come in and come out. But under it, you see there are a whole lot more mechanism, and you're not exactly sure how the whole thing starts revolving. But there's a lot of room for maintenance under the train, as well as several little stations where you're not exactly sure what they do, but magic stuff. They look like stations with lever, faintly glowing buttons, at least that's what you think they are, and a lot of tools laying around. It's dirty, it's grimy. And when you get to the other side, you also notice this one thing. That you have a moment of... Because the moment you notice all this, you notice two eyes looking at you. Waist high. It's a dog. Staring at you. And then walking away because you rolled a natural 1.
Like,
No, the guard dog did not react to you at all. He really had this... Oh, never mind.
he's like, I'm not getting involved today.
I don't care about this.
Good pupper.
So you're in. If everything is going according to plan, you know that Jorg, audience, and possibly Fisher are going to hopefully see your cat on the other side of that fence in something between 5 and 15 minutes.
Which means he has somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes to get as much done as possible before things go wrong.
What?
Well, he's not talking about you, Fisher, don't worry. He's talking about Joe.
Yeah.
But at any rate, maybe doesn't have like all, regardless, like that much time to dawdle. Like, so he is going to look for uh, what would at least from the outset appear to be like a main office or a main building in this area.
All right. Sorry. Perception roll, please.
I'll give the
Advantage.
this
All right.
yeah. All right, I'm feeling it again. I'd like to stab. No, just playing.
All right, there's no one.
Well,
Well, I'm gonna stab Remy. That's all.
I don't know which one's the advantage, but regardless, it's a 26.
Okay. How bad was the other one?
It was a 10 on the die.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, it would have been a 19 for me, but, you know.
Yeah, no, we don't talk too much about that. So, shoulder to shoulder with Tobiyashi, you look around and trying to figure out where everything is. You squint a little because that fog that just keeps your visibility, accurate visibility, at maybe 700 feet at most, really isn't helping all that much in the shadows like this. But
It's a double-sided coin though, because like the mist should also be helping him like remain relatively undetected.
no. Sorry, no, what? I think I need to drink.
That's one of those blessing curse situations.
Yeah. No, it's not helping you see, but it's definitely reducing the range at which someone can see you from afar. So, you start moving about a little bit, trying to do your reconnaissance, trying to figure out where everything is exactly. 5 or 6 minutes later, as you're moving from hiding spot to hiding spot with Tobiyashi helping you and pointing out something over there and something over there, and you seeing that building over there, you find yourself in a position where you once again see that faint light from inside a single building. You have a choice between 3, but 2 of them are completely dark. One of them definitely feels like a large tool shed. It looks like a tool shed. It sounds like a tool shed. You hear the wind blowing through it. You hear cling, 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 cling inside whenever the wind blows. The only thing you're missing is the visual confirmation of the inside, telling you it's a tool shed, but probably is.
It's a mimic.
Turns out it's just actually somebody's like a wind chime storage unit. They're just really into wind chimes.
They love it. Some of them are made of wood, metal, and this odd thing that you're not sure exactly what it is. One of them is made of bone. Oh, human bones.
I was gonna say the bones of the enemies.
The second building is closer toward where you probably would have entered if you would have went through the front door. This one looks pretty dark. There's nothing inside. There's no way to see exactly what it would be. There's only one window, but you can't see anything inside of the building, at least not at the range you are right now. You don't see any lights, however, inside of it. The third building is much smaller, but you do see a very faint light. One you would associate with most likely candlelight, a single candlelight. Knowing how long a candlelight can last, you can imagine that there's someone somewhere in there that eventually will come back for that candlelight, or maybe is already there. Knowing that a candle only lasts so long, that person is that length of time away at most.
Well, he's disinclined to immediately go to the building where somebody is or will be very soon.
I walk right
So-
in. No, I'm just playing. I'm good. I keep following Remy.
Ramy, a few hours later, what happened to Toby?
I don't know.
I'm just laying there on the floor.
He went into the maintenance pit, and suddenly the gear started lowering itself. Okay, so you go at the front building, the one where you would have entered if you would have entered through the front door. Okay. So far, you haven't done anything to break the stealth that you rolled, so I'm not going to ask you to roll again. You make your way toward this shed. Well, I'm calling it a shed, but it's not exactly a shed. You'll see when you arrive there.
It is a building with a wooden exterior
Yes.
and very low upkeep.
Yes. Mostly that, yes. So, when you arrive, the closer you get, the more you can identify what sort of building this might be. It's a small building. There's not a lot of room inside of it. You'd guess that it's at most maybe 10 feet deep by 15 feet wide. So it's not a large building. It's really just one or two rooms, or one large room. Single window facing toward the outside, so someone can see someone arriving from the yard. Two doors on each extremity. One is directly facing from you. The other one you had to walk slightly in line to notice that there is a second door on the other side. You're not exactly sure where it leads. Like I said, this building is large enough to have a separation in the middle. Could be two rooms, or a single room with a door on each side. And a window looking outside toward the front. The doors both look to be closed.
Would it be possible to be able to peer through said window, or?
Could be risky, but it's possible. Why I say it could be risky, it's because you're gonna be facing the entrance. The entrance is going to be at your back. So if there's a point where someone might be looking inside, this is the most likely place that they're going to see first.
Wait, Remy. I pull out the picture-taking orb from my bag, and I'll hand it to Remy. So we don't be seen. They'll just see an orb if there is someone.
What?
The picture-taking orb, the one that the guy made,
Repaired, yeah.
prepared.
Is all right. So I do have to ask the DM in this case:
Mhm.
Is this considered to be a mundane or a magical item?
How much research did you do on... I know you did research on creature, but did you do research on machines in the Misty Isles? I know Tobiyashi and Fisher made some research, but did you? Or did they communicate what they found to you?
I would have communicated with the group.
Yeah, I think we told everybody
Okay.
Yeah.
what we found specifically dealing with that orb.
So, that orb would most likely be a fear-inducing object for anyone to see, because they know that it's an object that's usually placed on crabs, or rather dangerous magical object. Some of them are placed around train for defense. But you've seen them leave the train only when it's attacked. And everyone is afraid of it because they know they can get killed by it. It's been hundreds of years since this device, if not over 1,000, if not thousands of years, since this device was used simply as reconnaissance.
Just an option.
Conceptually speaking, it would be the same thing as waking up in the middle of the night and looking at two eyes staring at you from the window. That would probably create the same reaction at someone seeing this through a window.
Well, I will say that like at very minimum, just like peeking at the front, is there like any debris in front of the building, or is it just kind of like a hodgepodge of stuff, or is it mostly clear?
The front of this structure is
more specifically the front facing toward the entrance.
Yeah.
Since that's the
well, the window is cleared of obstruction, so it's definitely meant for someone to be in there and see who's arriving. On the back of the structure, there is a little bit of a mess. A few things that have just been placed there, either because they didn't want to go all the way to the tool shed or just didn't care. But the sight of the window is unobstructed. So either it's still being used to watch who's coming and going, or they're just keeping it that way. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I had a thought, but if it's relatively clear, then I don't want to employ that kind of idea because that would just draw more attention. So I didn't really want to use this too early. It's but at the very least, we've narrowed down our list of suspects for buildings, so I guess it's not too bad if I do this now. It's Raimi is essentially going to making sure he is starting from a point behind the building, or in the back, by the back entrance, and he is going to activate his lantern as he is going to ethereal jump, but he's going to look before he leaps.
Okay.
But basically he's going as he is activating this power, he's going to dip his head in, and then if there's somebody inside, he's just dipping his head right back out. Okay. But if there's nobody inside, then he's going to go all the way in.
All right. So for a brief moment, Tobiashi, you see Remy taking out his lantern and then doing something with the hood of the lantern, and he sort of becomes ghostly in appearance and fades off.
Okay, thanks for the communication. Don't know what's happening. I'm just going to sit and stay watch out here.
So you poke your head inside, and two things that you noticed immediately as right now there doesn't seem to be anyone there. Second, you get the feeling that the dog is probably using this as his own personal home because it doesn't smell because you can't smell from the ethereal plane, but it does look like a dog has been gathering stuff and putting it on one side of this room. Maybe because someone sometimes sits there, but it looks like the house of the dog. At least he claimed it. He's not there right now. Also, a brief scan of this place does allow you to see that there's a fair amount of stuff on one desk that is right under the window. Not sure exactly what it is. You do recognize that there would be a few scrolls, what look like a few scrolls, and a rather thick leather-bound book. Could be a registry. Could also just be something that's been left there. It's a bit difficult to see how often people come by because in the ethereal plane, although you can see, there are some details that aren't easy to see, like how dusty a place is. It all looks very misty dusty while you're in there. But this is mostly what you see. You do see also a, not sure if it's abandoned or just not very well maintained, and a long arcane crossbow. Those that looks like muskets on one side of the room, leaning on the wall that you've just poked your head through.
I want it.
All right. Just as a reminder, was it a real dog or a robo dog?
No, it was a real dog.
Damn it.
You'd want to say probably something like a crossbreed between some type of dog and some type of wolf. Because of how the eyes reflected light.
I was thinking like a dachshund, like a little hunting dog.
Okay.
Raimi's taking a risk, but he at least wants to see. No. I think Raimi would like to see the other building first before he would want to like even come close to entering this building. But then again, he's no, regardless, his scent is around the building. He's fucked anyway. So Raimi will just like go ahead and like go and like actually jump all the way in.
Okay.
Because he sees documentation, he'd at least like to see if that documentation is relevant at all.
Okay.
And just deal with the dog shit as it comes.
Okay. All right, so you go inside, you traverse, and find yourself in this little place. When you pop out of the ethereal realm, that's when you... Oh, yeah, the dog's been living here. It smells like dog here. You're not sure that anyone is spending a whole lot of time here because they'd want to have something that smells a little bit better. But definitely the dog's been making this his home. All right, investigation roll. And while you're doing this, Jorg and audience, and probably Fisher, you've probably by this point made your way to the side of this yard. And fortunately for you, Jorg has a very good passive perception, and he immediately noticed that bright spot of Twinkling Bell's white fur is waiting on the side of the fence. It definitely stands out in a way. But you've seen Twinkling Bell quite a few times, so you recognize it, because you're not exactly sure if it's a he or a she. It's not like Remy says it often. And he doesn't share his cat with a whole lot of people. Yes, I did intentionally say cat and not the other thing. But you're pretty sure it's Remy's cat.
So looks like they went. Well, I guess can we talk in the thing if we're really quiet, or does that ruin our?
Sounds like you're asking me if you can talk into the cat. I want to see this. Thanks the cat.
No.
Hello?
Talk in the Pass Without a Trace.
It mutes. I mean, yeah, it's not silence.
But
It muffles
It makes
sound.
It
muffles
muffles. So we can. I think we can talk. It just doesn't carry far.
Yeah. So we're going over the fence.
Well, it didn't. Oh, audience, didn't Ramy's little diagram thing have us waiting outside?
It did. It has
Oh yeah.
sense, yeah.
Guess we'll wait here
Yeah,
then.
but like Remy said, you're supposed to be in close enough to hear him fuck.
Right.
Oh yeah. How do we know which building's in though?
I don't know.
You can't. It's
I
not
guess
like
you
you
can
can
just
actually see inside. There's
Shout
a
really
fence.
loud. Yeah, but he's too stealthy.
Well, I think the point is if he shouted, we could hear him. He's not going.
Would you say, are we within range right now or no? I don't know.
The maintenance yard isn't that big, right?
No. Well, it's the size of maybe a train and one cart. And then
I also don't want to blow his cover by getting too close, since he's more stealthy than we are.
the yard is probably somewhere like 150 feet in radius.
Did I see them at the gate?
No, since you're there, all you see is a fence with a hole in it that no one's peeking through the hole.
That's close enough to hear. Probably.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you just decide to relax there, try and pet
Yeah.
Remy's cat.
Yeah.
I guess we decide.
Not relax. Stay vigilant here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Stay vigilant,
Okay.
but we don't go through the gate because we don't know what's on the other side. We don't know.
Yeah.
what's
And we
covered.
trust Ramy.
Okay. Well, if you stay there on guard, perception roll, and I'll take that into consideration if Remy starts screaming.
14.
16. Or I guess 13 without turn.
I'll get my dog out because its ears are better.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what I roll, but 13.
Can I roll it with
Is your
advantage
dog
for the
well enough trained to not mess with the cat?
My dog is an extension of myself.
It's
Which is
also
an
a
exaggeration,
familiar, so.
but yeah. Yeah, my dog won't mess with the cat.
Okay.
I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
They actually like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like a family,
they both recognize that they're actually fake Richard. Oh yeah, you seen Bill? Yeah.
What's up, Mike? It's been out. How's the ship
Hello,
going?
hello
The ship's
Ralph.
going good. Cool.
Hello, Sam.
Hasn't been the same since he lost his
Yeah,
balls.
dude, aren't you so glad you're not audience's cat?
That guy dies like all the time. He's always going back.
At least we don't have to watch the party leave. All right.
Now he's been seeing a therapist recently.
All right, so going back inside the yard, Tobiyashi, what do you do while Remy has just disappeared? You chill while you.
I go kill the dog. I'm gonna place the bomb underneath the train.
That's the
No, I'm
murder
kidding.
part.
I think I'll just keep watching, make sure the dog's not coming again. Where it's at. I did want to try to make a thing where I want to look for schematics of a train, or like train schematics. But I'm gonna tell Raimi when he gets back.
Okay. So, in that case, Remy, you go inside, and what did you roll for your investigation?
Soft 20.
Okay. Oh, it's pretty good, So you look around, and are you trying to be as quiet as possible while looking around, or like you said, your scent is there. If the good dog comes back, it's too late anyways.
Well, I mean, if I will say, if nothing else, before Raimi starts, since there is like that window, meaning that like people could see through it, like going in, he's actually going to repeatedly every minute put up a minor illusion of like essentially what it looks like when there's nothing on the side of that window.
He's just essentially painting the inside of the room and sticking it on the window.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's basically like the same thing as like like putting like a camera feed on a constant loop.
Yeah. Or taking a picture of the camera feed and taping it to the front of the camera.
All right. So, okay.
But yeah, it's like, but yeah, ultimately his scent's already there, so it's not like he can really disguise that. But if he spends less, but if he has, if he spends more time actually like doing the investigating rather than trying to be quiet, then he can literally get in and out.
All right. So basically, my question is: are you trying to do this stealthily, gently, or like a raccoon looking for food?
I'm going to go with gently,
Okay.
just so where he's not spending too much time there.
Okay. So you look around, lifting a few things, trying to not make too much sound as you're rummaging through everything. So the manifest is the book is a manifest of the coming and going of trains. There currently is one on the platform. There was apparently some bit of damage to one of the I forgot the name. One of the wheel on the side. Steam engine used large wheels connected by a very long piece of metal. So there was a slight damage there, and it's being replaced currently. Judging from the manifest, it's supposed to have been completed a few days ago. But it's still there right now. You see the coming and going of trains every single day. There's always at least one arrival and one departure every day. On some day you can see as much as 4. 2 arrival, 2 departure. So it's still relatively busy for an end-of-the-line station. Scrolls are answers for parts requisitions. One scroll is simply a rejection for necessary parts to repair. But on the other 2 scrolls, you see confirmation that there is going to be parts being sent, as one part cannot be simply repaired. It's part of the inside of the engine, but there is no mentioning of which train exactly this belongs to. So there is a possibility of a missing important piece in the train that is currently in the yard. But there is no date on it, so it could be something old. The cabin really doesn't seem to be well maintained, so there's no way for you to tell if it's recent or not. At least the manifest of train has dates on it. Parts requisition, not so much. There is one scroll, however, that draws a little bit of attention, as it is a request that has been denied, but still, it is a request to send a team to investigate sightings of a cocoon appearing on the railroad leading to Mid-Sal. So there is a request for an extermination group to try and come in and remove that thing. There is a rejection on this one, however. So
does that rejection happen to give like a statement of like a statement of like the reason for that judgment, or is it just simply a rejection?
A slight indication, not something that's very precise, referring to something as it is unlikely that this cocoon is a problem because of how far it was seen on the track.
Okay, so essentially too far away / like innocuous to be really an issue. Which say like if it were something like a much more like say something bigger or something more in the way, it's like that would be more worth sending someone to investigate. But otherwise, just like the train will run over it.
Well, if one eventually goes there, because no train is supposed to go there anymore. But yeah, essentially it does state that it is unlikely that it is a problem due to where it was reported. Your investigation does allow you to see that the scroll seems to have lost a bit of its moisture, meaning that it's starting to get old. There could be, like the other scrolls, several other requests for a team. There is enough time when a scroll becomes dried up like this. It's because it's been left on the desk for quite a while. So there could be other requests. Situation might have changed since. You're guessing this scroll has been there for at least a month. But there are no indication of other rejected requests that have been left on this desk. And although you can imagine that Tobiashi will probably be disappointed with this, the arbalist weapon that has been left on the side of this room is too severely damaged. It's mostly there for show. Scare kids off when they try to climb the walls.
So I will say, like, just one more question. Like, as far as like whether a form shows that it's been approved or rejected, like, you know, like a between them all, just like, do they happen to share like any like is it accompanied by something like a signature or a stamp or of some sort, or is it just simply
Approbation, yes, but not rejection. So those that have a rejection on it simply have a very cookie cutter answer, feeling like it's probably a Mill E that's been writing this, who's just evaluating thing and this is what I should be answering. Acceptance, however, do possess a signature. So on the two that have acceptance for spare parts, you do see a signature on them, confirming that the parts will be sent.
And
your ability to comprehend language would still be active, so you'd see that the signatures are written in arcane language, but basically simply states the serial number of whomever has answered. So you can actually see on one of them that the signature is Mar E 1728, and the other one is a Civ E 0829.
And both of those approvals, like the scrolls for those, they appear to be like just as aged as the rejection one, or
not as much, but yeah, they don't seem very fresh. You have the feeling that the guy maintaining this place is not too tidy.
All right.
On one of them, there's even a stain of something that you think is probably sauce from a meal. At least you hope it is.
It's like, please let it be sauce.
It's a weird discoloration. Come on, please, please. I just touched it.
All right, I think what Raimi is going to do is that he's going to, just in case so that he has options, he is going to take the rejected form with him, but he's going to study the signatures of the Mari and Civ E.
Okay.
But leave those behind, just in case.
Okay. All right.
Because I feel like those would actually be missed if somebody wanted to go back and get them, and it'd be really suspicious if all three of those documents that were left on the desk were missing.
All right.
The dog ate them.
I mean, look, I feel like the man who has been in charge of this place has probably given that excuse too many times.
The dog ate the forms. Yeah, we know.
Dog yep, man. I'm telling you.
But yeah, but at the very least, he will if he feels like it. Yeah, he's going to study both the Mari and Civi signatures, if for no other reason than just deciding later. It's like, okay, how much power do we want this particular request to have?
Right. All right.
Maybe the dog is in charge of the forms.
You don't know, but actually, it's only the dog. He's the one that's in charge of everything in this in this yard.
Actually, this is when we find out that the dog is actually a lycanthrope. The only reason we didn't know that is because we can't see the boon.
All right. You never know. You just never know. All right, so on the outside, Jargon audience just chilling by the fence and just
Yep.
waiting, see what's happening. You do hear a little bit of noise, not inside the yard, but in front. Probably an animal moving about. You don't hear any suspicious sound, like something moaning or anything like this. But just a brusque sound, which for you, Jorg, is obvious. It's a squirrel, of course. It's a squirrel. For audience, it's lunch, but for you, it's squirrel. So.
Well, I'll just keep watching. Get a piece of food, meat. Well, I'll get my tiny blob in a jar out too, and keep an eye on that.
Okay. Take the blob in a jar and look at it for a few moments. You notice that it's swaying a little bit more aggressively than usual, but not to the point where you feel like, oh shit, it's gonna happen right now. But it is letting you know that there is a slight danger right now.
Good to know. I figured there'd be at least a slight danger right now.
Well, now you have visual confirmation. You look, audience. It's dancing a little. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I'll show them.
Gold Osborne. Interesting. Thank you for following us. It warms our heart. Alright, so. Audience, you see the blob. It's swaying gently.
Do I see anything else?
No, really. Like I said, there's...
Alright, well then I'll just be like, we're in some danger, but like, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Alright. Like I said, no, you don't see anything else very worrying right now. Probably Fisher is the one that's going to be the most worried. As you said, you wanted to make a few rounds to look like you're making a round around this yard. And you do notice at one point that there might be a chance that at some point a Millie is going to actually be making its way here. You see one stationary on the other side of the yard, the exit of the yard that would be leading toward Mid-Sal. It is currently just examining things around, examining the rails, examining the gate. It really feels like it's following a checklist. Definitely going to be something happening once it finishes its checklist. You're not sure exactly which side it's going to go, but if it decides to go on sides where everyone is, probably between 10 and 20 minutes after he leaves, the party is going to have to do something about this. But right now, it's inspecting something.
Okay, but it's on the opposite side of the
Yard, yes.
yard. Okay. I think I will just keep an eye on it for now. But not wait to see which way it goes.
Okay. Alright, going back inside. Remy, do you pop out the same way that you popped in?
Well, Remy hasn't heard a sudden series of barks, so he feels fairly confident to just pop back the same way that he came.
Okay.
And if nothing else, if the dog comes in and smells a thing, maybe it'll get confused by the fact that there's no trail.
Okay. So suddenly, Tobiyashi, you have a spectral version of Remy appearing right beside you, and probably 2/3 of a second later, you completely solidifies, and it's Remy again.
Good? Everything okay? Wait, I have a question. Find what we needed?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear it that well.
Oh, did you find what we needed?
You're very quiet.
Am I?
Well, it's not stable. You go from okay to low to okay.
Yeah, I think it's because I have my fan, so it's trying to block it out.
Oh, okay.
Give me one. I also... Yep, it's that. Okay. Is that better? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, that's way better.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. For some reason, whenever I turn on my PC, it turns down my mic volume inside the sound settings for some reason. Have no idea why it does that. But I was saying, as soon as you come out, I'm like, is everything okay? What happened? Did you get the thing we needed?
Remy's going to give a talons up and then a so-so motion.
Yeah, okay. And then I was wondering, you might not have seen anything about like train schematics for like Fisher or anything, right?
I'm assuming it didn't come up.
Yeah.
No.
So Remy shakes his head.
Okay, that's fine. That was just like an extra thing. We should probably that dog comes
Remy
back.
actually would probably point in the direction of the building which, by the way, does it still have a light? Or
Yeah, it has grown slightly fainter, but nothing has changed a lot about this place. So either the person is just sitting there looking outside, it's a sentinel light, or the guy has just fallen asleep on his desk.
Are we going over there?
Oh. Afraid that I might throw a monster at you, audience?
It's been going too good. But yeah, are we going over there now, Remy, or are we just watching out for that?
Remy's just going to repeat in your voice any train schematics or anything.
Okay. All right. Let's go there.
Alright. I think this is an interesting place to take our break. Give everyone a chance to wake up a little bit, because for half of the party this hasn't been so exciting. Because they're just not moving. They're not even interacting with the cat. We gave you a cat so you can do something with the cat. And there's a blob now. You can do something with the blob. You can try and feed the cat to the blob.
I'm not gonna fall for your tricks. Gotta stay vigilant.
I don't care how.
I got the blob out to help keep watch, not to distract me.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. All right. So
The cat starts rolling onto his back, exposing its belly.
so everyone starts going,
My dog can keep watch. I can stretch the belly.
All right.
The dog starts cleaning the cat.
Break. Marsh sounds. I know this will make someone very happy. All right. Marsh sound, and we will be back in 15 minutes. Have a good break, and see you in 15 minutes. Bye. Hello, welcome back. Hope you had a pleasant break, listening to all of the sounds of the marsh, hearing the duck laugh at you, everything you said. Hasn't been 15 minutes yet. The duck really likes laughing at people. And I know I made the ambiance myself, so I put it there myself because I heard a duck laugh at me. No, it wasn't at me. But it felt like it was at me, but it wasn't at me. Alright. So, well, since Tobiyashi and Remy aren't there right now, we're gonna start with audience Jorgen Fisher. Alright, so. How's it going?
Yeah, I don't really know what else to
waiting.
do right now. Yeah,
We don't
like
know
we
what
just
to do.
we need.
I guess
Uh-huh.
we could talk here. I know what we can do. So what's our plan, guys, for when the Millie finishes his rounds if they're not back yet? Should we just like walk away and like try and distract him or talk to him, or should we just like just leave the area and just hope that Remy and Toby like will make it out? Like what's the plan?
I think we. That's a good question. I mean, I think we
Can we just
let them.
We could just
because
warn
I
them.
think if we get discovered, we get out of the way, and then they will
Yeah.
have a fine time getting out. But
Yeah.
I could
So-
pull up my drinking flask and we could pretend to just be drunk revelers, and he could just be like, "All right, guys, clear the streets," and then we'll like walk away, and then hopefully they'll get out.
that's a good.
Yeah, good cover.
Yeah. You guys pretend to be
Why don't
drunk,
we
and I will
really
deal with
get
you.
drunk
No.
just so we have a better
No.
chance?
No.
Well, let's get smashed while we're waiting for Tobiyashi and Remy.
And then we can just you can do the message thing, and you can cast message and tell them
Yeah.
that there's someone coming in.
Yeah, just or let them know because he might not even be going in. He might just like
Yeah.
well, we can let him know what's up.
Well,
I'll pull out my flask, I guess, and get ready for that for when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
I'll keep my blob out.
I just feel like Fisher, you probably heard during this conversation, especially at the beginning when audience says, "What are you going to do if the melee comes?" and everyone start going, I'm pretty sure that Fisher heard from inside of him someone say, "And that's why you keep running into problems."
We're not a pre-planning kind of group. We're
like to improvise.
Yeah.
All right, so Tobiyashi, I saw you arriving in the background. Are you there? Knock 3 times. Oh! Food!
I am here.
All right. Now I'm hungry. We had one eating ice cream, we had one eating popsicle, and you're eating what?
Ramen. I got this new ramen thing instead of the packet. It's like this like plastic thing, and it has stuff, special stuff. So I'm gonna see how it tastes.
All right, so now I'm hungry. We're gonna make you pay for this.
Your character can't eat for 3 years.
No! All right, you see the dog and he starts eating your foot. All right, so back inside with Tobiyashi and Remy. So you make your way all the way to the other building where you see a small light. All right.
Yes, we do.
Well, I'm gonna have you roll a stealth roll while you're making your way to the other side. You did break your stealth at one point while you were rummaging.
Making our way downtown.
Did I?
Did you?
Break my stealth? I don't think I broke my stealth. Hopefully not. But I'll roll again.
Okay. 1.
Don't ever say that to me. No,
2.
it's not good, but a 19.
28.
19 and 28. So just to put it in perspective, you say it's not good 19, but there's only 5% of normal peasant who can actually beat that.
Yeah, but I'm not expecting normal peasants.
Oh,
You know, we got like cyborg people.
Okay. Seeing through these.
Are you calling me a peasant? No.
Well, the ball inside of Tobiyashi is.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need an
Remy,
offering
however,
for him
can
soon.
hear your quiet farts, though.
Yeah.
Just as you're about to arrive. Oh, damn. The dog's gonna smell this. Alright. So, you make your way across the yard. And I'm pretty sure no one saw you. Pretty sure. Once again, at one point, nearly where the other building is, you cross the dog. You just see him lying on the floor and raising his head, looking at you.
Starting to think that dog is old.
Well, no, it's more that I wanted to give him a character, and since initially I rolled with disadvantage for him, and I rolled a natural 1 and a natural 20, so he always sees you. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Old dog. They are beyond the they are in the 10 and up range, where it's just like I could raise a ruckus, or I could just keep sleeping.
This is the dog in my mind. This is the dog in my mind right here.
Oh, good lord. What do they call hush puppies?
Basset Hound.
Basset Hound, okay. No, hush puppies are shoes, sorry. I think. Oh, good lord. I'm mixing a whole lot of things now. So,
It's also a food you eat.
The puppy
well, it's a
kind.
brand. Well, here it's a brand. Is it an actual type of food in the United States? Here it's a brand.
It's like a fried kind of like donut thing with meat inside.
Oh, it's
of it.
actually a thing. Okay, here it's just a brand. It's a brand of slushies. Okay. All right. So you see this dog, and Remy, you recognize the in the eyes of the dog, the way that he looks at you. It's sort of a you don't smell like someone who's gonna kill anyone. Never mind. Type of situation.
Looks at Tobiyashi though.
Yeah.
Puts the knife away.
So you just walk across the yard and you see the dog, and the dog sees you, but it stays there, and you have a very amicable relationship with him. Tobiyashi just goes spooning with the dog, and you make your way all the way to the other building. And this one is a bit more elaborate. Not that much more, but you get a feeling that it's large enough to have several rooms. You do see one door on one side. You see several windows. The closer you get, however, the more you have that cabin in the wood feeling. So might actually be where the owner of that light lives, or where people are when they're assigned to watching over this place, which, by the way, he's not doing all that good of a job. seeing as his dog doesn't care and he hasn't seen anything right now. Well, it gives us a bit of a feeling like this. So there might be enough room in there, enough space for someone to live. Definitely matches the size of it. You do see a lot of tools that you would associate with maintaining buildings. Not train, just a building. The door actually has a lock. Recognizable lock. Like I said, several...
The one that's on my chastity belt.
Does Toby actually... I think we knew that audience had one at one point, but...
Basically, toward the beginning of the campaign, once audience had claimed firm ownership over Tobiyashi, just they needed a physical representation of this.
Chastity belt was the only way to go.
No other options.
I think it's more Remy, because Remy keeps interfering with the audience's love life. Well, lust life, I should say. So, like I said, it looks like a place where whomever is maintaining this place probably lives, or at least the place where someone who is assigned to the yard goes to live. So, what do you do when you arrive there?
I'll see what Remy does first. I don't want to blow our cover. I'm here until shit hits the fan. I'm here for when shit hits the fan, you know?
There you go.
All right. So this is a situation where I think Remy would actually be comfortable attempting to pick the lock on this door and then lock it behind him.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll away. What is it again? Sleight of hands? To pick lock? No, if you have a picking tool.
There are thieves' tools.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was thinking of something else. Go ahead.
17.
Okay. Give this moment of where you kneel down, look at the lock, you slide it in, and okay, it's definitely a lot easier than what you were expecting. You basically just had to.
This place just has really poor security.
It's amazing.
Which is really odd for, an island chain, entirely inhabited by at least a historical population of thieves, rogues, and other ne'er-do-wells.
Well, you get the feeling that either the person... What was that? I think I received a commercial through phone. Damn. Never received anything that late. They're picking up the slack if they're trying to sell stuff this late at night. Damn. Alright. What was I saying? Oh yeah. No, definitely you get a feeling that this place here, this last train station, not a lot of people are paying attention to it. Maybe once a lot of people did, and it was important, but it's been a while. Sort of like a dying town. You really get the feeling that
It's like being the one stormtrooper assigned to the space boonies.
something like this, yeah. Yeah. even with you skulking around in this yard, it really feels like it's been partially abandoned, maintained to its minimum, probably because people are expecting to be able to leave and arrive, and some measure of maintenance be done on train. But it's definitely something that's slowly dying. Just like the port stations that you visited before when you arrived. It really felt like something that was slightly abandoned. Can't help but probably can't help but to feel a sense of pity also for people living in here. You know, they already are living in a place where they never see the sun, where they're continually oppressed by a wizard, and even there, no one's paying attention to them. Everyone's feeling like they're the waste of resource in the island. Damn, that's depressing.
Yeah, Raimi can't possibly sympathize with that. Not at all.
So, you unlock the door very easily, surprisingly easily. Feels like probably the lock was picked at one point, and it was picked so brutally that the person tried to fix it, and it just he mostly fixed it, but not completely. Enough so that if someone pushes the door, it doesn't open. But you could probably just have jiggled the doorknob a little bit, and it would eventually have unlocked itself. So you open the door. Of course, as you would expect, it needs oiling because you hear. It's open just enough for you to enter.
Yeah, it's, as I said, close it and lock it behind him.
Close again. That's what you hear from outside, Tobiyashi.
I'll start going over the joints and putting some oil on them.
Well, you know,
This place needs to get taken care of.
the joints are inside. Otherwise, it's too easy to open the door.
I think about it, and then I keep watch.
So, in case you are installing a door, anyone at one point in your life, remember the joints are supposed to be inside. So someone can't just remove the hinges and just
the
enter by removing the door. And hinges are always supposed to be inside. Yes, I am mentioning this because I saw someone put a door and the hinges were on the outside. Alright, so you find yourself, Remy, in a small room. The person is not there. You know, you recognize that the light is in the next room. Looks like a smaller room. This one looks like it's probably where it probably acts as both a living room and an office. You recognize those two chairs that have been placed side by side and a huge sort of pillow that's been placed on top of it, sort of making an improvised sofa. One place. You see a door.
It just gets sadder and sadder.
It's like you notice that there is a half-finished like a cup ramen container on the table. It's the only container in the building, suggesting that he's been spreading this cup ramen out for the entire day.
It's a shrimp flavor. Oh,
Oh, my mother wouldn't agree with you. She loves shrimps.
I love shrimp.
Ah, see?
the shrimp flavored ramen. Come on now.
Oh,
Anyways,
I'm not sure I've ever
Okay,
eaten
it's nice.
ramen.
It's nice to get a little insight into Avery as a man. You know.
Alright, so this makeshift sofa that's been made and this small table all eaten up on the sides. You get the feeling that the dog that's outside was probably here as a puppy and he just ate the side of this table and it's never been changed in the past 10 years. You recognize the teeth mark of a dog on the side of the table, on the legs of the table. There is an abandoned sandwich on the table. Hopefully it hasn't been there for more than a few hours, but nothing suggests that someone's going to be coming back here to eat it, as there is a fly actually currently on it. But you never know. You don't know who's in the other room.
Maybe they like shit sandwiches.
Yeah, who knows? On your left, there is a door leading to, from your point of view, what looks like a kitchen. You're not exactly sure because the door is half closed, but from what you can see, it does look like some sort of kitchen. I was going to say shit in shitchen. I don't know why. So, seeing the building from the outside, you can surmise that there, in the room that you see that has a light, there is probably a door over there because it's big enough to have a fourth room inside of there. But you don't see any door leading to it. So the door leading to the fourth room is either in the room where there is a light or in the room where there is a kitchen. You do see boots, a single pair of boots, right next to the entrance. Judging from the size, most likely a dwarf. You see equipment which would fit an engineer, a toolbox resting on a small table. You see a pile of paper, mostly scrunched up together. And on the other side, on the wall, you think at one point it might have been some sort of attempt to make it his own space, because it feels like someone was trying to put antlers of some sort on the wall, but it's been turned into a coat rack.
I mean, as you do.
So there is an element of, how original. A coat has been placed on each of the antlers. And it's been lowered to a dwarf height.
You could even see the drag marks of how it happened.
So from there, where do you go? What do you do?
I mean, I think he is going to take the time to at least listen to see if there's just like, because obviously he made some noise like entering the door, but since he hasn't run into this man or seen any sign of this man like like going through the yard, it's possible he is napping / taking a break. So, like maybe at minimum see if he's like listening for the sound of snoring.
All right, perception roll.
That's going to be 21.
21. All right. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'd say even I didn't roll to see how unstealthily that person was. So probably Tobiyashi even hears this from the outside. As you're there, Remy, and you're listening closely, trying to figure out if he's in the air, what he's doing. And then you hear, "Oh God, why don't you come out?" And Tobiyashi hears the same thing from the outside.
I look left and right. I'm like, what is Remy doing in there?
Because Tobiyashi hears it so well, he's in an outhouse just outside of this, on the other side of the building, and he's having toilet problem.
Oh wait, he's in the outhouse.
Yes.
Let's tip over the outhouse. No, I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna go around the house and kind of like hide on the side of the wall to where it's like opposite of where he's at, and just keep an eye on the outhouse. Did Remy hear that?
Oh yes, definitely. When you roll a 2 for this, he definitely heard this from inside. He probably even hears, I'll never accept what she's giving me to eat again. Oh,
I'll just tap on the window to to let Remy know that I know, and then just hide behind the wall over there.
It just sounds like he's passing a kidney stone.
I think it's the whole kidney that's coming out.
I was thinking about like locking the door with silk, but I think I'm just gonna leave it.
I was more just making a joke like, hey, if this is like a mountain dwarf, then...
That's a nugget of something.
It's all that ramen he's been eating.
Maybe it's the sandwich. The abandoned sandwich. There was a second one.
Or even worse, it was the same sandwich, and this is the result of only eating half the sandwich because he'd already left it out.
So, what do you do when you hear that from the outside?
Remy's going to feel a bit safer about just like, like now rummaging through that.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, he's going to be there a while. He's not paying attention to what I'm doing.
All right. So, in which room do you want to go from there?
He's going to start with the office, just because, like, again, he's trying to look for as much formal work as he can.
All right, so the room you entered in?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, investigation.
That's going to be only a 17.
All right. Well, the obvious one that you find is the pile of paper that's sitting on a table to your right. Going through it, it's, again, different forms. These ones have been completely scrunched up into a ball. It feels like he was frustrating. Most of them are rejected things. He rejected one form is about a change of shift that was rejected. Another form is about a request for help, which was also rejected. The third one, judging from the answer, was a heartfelt answer to some of the rejections, which was answered in a very cookie-cutter way from someone that doesn't know how to handle harsh language. Also scrunch up into a ball. You find sketches of a large cocoon on the table. Those sketches, however, do look slightly familiar, as you've seen them when rummaging through the books of undeads of the island. that's slightly worrying, because if the cocoons are really there, then that creature is one to pay attention to. It's a spider-like creature. Usually very docile, but it can become extremely aggressive if you threaten its offsprings, or if you're an undead, because it literally eats undead. Well, actually, it eats things which are in between life and death. So there was a mention in the book about not falling unconscious due to severe trauma in the presence of this creature. So there might be a slight problem with this if it's actually that creature that laid the cocoon. Being a spider-type creature, you know that it's can lay quite a lot of eggs and can walk on walls. So it would be able to attack you from sides also.
Maybe just keeps considering like they're like it's just their luck to keep running into spiders.
Karma. So you have confirmation, because you do feel like this was a drawing made rather recently. So someone's been watching the railway, and probably this is a cocoon that was seen. You're not sure if it's the cocoon from the original rejection or a cocoon drawn after the rejection that was in the other building. So that's the uncertain part.
Maybe we'll definitely be making note of this. Well, mental note. It's like a.
Well, if you want to tell everyone about this, I would like to remind you that you do have something that that allowed you to speak to everyone regarding things that you've read. There, you've been given a small orb, and it's Tobiashi's gonna love it because it has the voice of someone he doesn't like. So, sharing that information would cause him psychological pain.
Well, I mean, the man is currently occupied, so he's not going to hear like the gentle, dulcet tones of a refined woman of rank and prestige.
Yeah.
I think.
Hopefully. Outside.
Yeah, I guess Raimi will take out his little like a ring of audible and or orb of audible, excuse me.
All right.
Hashtag non-spawn.
All right. So from the outside, Tobiashi, you hear the guy going, "Oh, is it done? Oh, now I feel like it's gonna come out the other way also. Oh, I'm not in the right place for this."
I'll keep listening, waiting. If I do hear him start getting out, I'll lock the door with my silk.
Interesting option. All right. Now, Remy.
Real quick, Draken, am I allowed to edit his character sheet to change his alignment? Because,
What do you mean? I'm trying to make it so you have more time in there.
Well, locking someone in the bathroom, if he doesn't throw the bathroom off the off a cliff, it's
just
not
a prank,
evil,
bro.
but it's definitely more chaotic.
well, I mean, like I'm connecting it to the previous comment of tipping it over, so I feel like the idea hasn't left his brain.
Oh,
No,
no,
I'm
and
not
that
tipping it,
concerns
just
me as a
locking it.
player.
I'm locking.
But it's more a chaotic thing than a good and evil thing. All right, so Remy, where do you go from that room? That's mostly what you find in this room. You see a few dirty clothes. You get a feeling that he has no socks on him right now because you find 3 pairs in that room. A rusty axe also.
And then, unfortunately, one of the socks, like it is like weirdly like hard and crusty.
Interesting.
Sock is just standing straight up.
You look closely and you realize that it's only the left socks of 6 different pairs. No. So keep on. It's not actually 3 pairs. All right, keep on going. So where are you going from there? You get a choice between going back outside, the kitchen, or the room with the light.
Actually, I think he might go to the kitchen. If for no other reason, then that might have been the last place he was before his incident.
Okay.
So, like, if he was like doing anything work related, it might be in the kitchen.
Okay. So you move into the kitchen and you just open slightly the door, just enough to go inside. You do hear as you open the door, but you manage to be naturally stealthy. It's not too hard. Get inside and you start looking around, and you actually do find a few interesting things. One thing, he either doesn't use his kitchen appliance a whole lot, or he keeps them very sharp because everything's clean and in good shape. So either, like I said, doesn't use them often or use them a lot and likes keeping them in good shape.
The dwarf's name is actually Jordan Hamsey.
You find on the counter several bits of food, probably that you would use to prepare something. You notice a stove, which the fire inside has been reduced to mere embers. So if he cooked something during the day, now it's mostly just remnant of whatever he was cooking. You do find a leather-bound book again on the table. That book is mostly empty. You get the feeling that he just started writing inside of it. It's a bit like a train yard log, but where he puts in his own personal opinion inside. You get the feeling that he doesn't have a very good opinion of the sorcerer. He thinks that he doesn't care about what happens, and that's why he just keeps refusing every single offer he makes for assistance, for spare parts. He's wondering more and more how he's going to keep maintaining the trains if they never want to send anything. There is an entry that probably attracts your attention, stating that he has made a request 5 days ago because the cocoons have been getting closer and closer. So he's pretty sure, even though it's still at more than a safe distance, that something is probably drawing that creature closer. Hey, another one following. Thank you very much. He's been getting closer and closer. There is no mention of receiving an answer. It's been a few days, and judging from what he says, there's probably an answer somewhere, but you haven't found it. The last log about this state that he's hoping something's going to happen soon, because he really doesn't want one of those God's forsaken creature to reach this island. Everyone knows what happened long ago, and the last thing you want is another mutation of those things and start actively hunting people, like undeads do. They have been influenced by what they eat before. The last thing you'd want is one of those things starting to hunt people. Who knows? Maybe that's why it's slowly making its way up the rails. So, he has concern, genuine concern. You get the feeling that he's genuinely not a bad person. Probably very grumpy, good person, but
a disgruntled, impoverished working individual that's just trying to live a life.
So, like I said, last log state that he's waiting for an answer, and it's been a few days since it's been written. So, not sure what happened with this. But he hasn't logged in his dissatisfaction of answers from this buyer, so maybe he hasn't received an answer yet, because from what you read, he is very vocal about rejection he receives. It has a very colorful dwarven language.
Well, if he was going to keep anything anyplace else, it would probably be the room with the candle, and judging by the structure of this area so far, that might be his bedroom. Or at least his quarters.
Yeah, well, especially since where you are now, you can see that there is a door leading outside. The fourth room looks like probably the equivalent of a landing, where someone can just enter and scrub his boots and make sure that doesn't dirty everything off. There are a few tools there, and you can easily see that there is another door leading to the other room. So it's basically just 4 rooms with a door on each side, allowing to go from wherever you want by following the circle. You do see outside Tobiyashi. He's watching the outhouse. You see him from
As you look outside, you see me standing over the outhouse with a boiling hot pot of water. Where'd you get that hot water from? No, I'm just watching. Just looking over. That's what he's thinking in his mind. He's trying to control the bad thoughts.
You notice that Tobiyashi looks slightly distracted with a slight grin on his face while he's watching this outhouse.
Raimi does not have time for this shit.
Oh.
If nothing else, Raimi can use his whatever he's doing as an escape.
All right. So, as you start making your way to the other room, Tobiyashi, you do hear him say, "Oh, finally."
Oh, well, I'm gonna walk over there and lock the door.
Smells so bad in here. Oh, I gotta get out. I'm gonna wipe myself later. It smells so bad.
I sneak over there and I'm gonna lock it with my silk, and then disconnect it from myself.
The last thing you see, Remy, as you enter this room, seeing from the door that's leading outside, you see Tobiyashi rushing toward this, and you just hear this. And you start hearing, "Hey, no, No, I'm stuck in here. No, please.
This poor man.
You hear him start screaming out the name of an animal.
Chaotic, evil.
Evil? No, I haven't been evil yet.
He's just a prank, bro. Calm down.
Then I go and hide.
Chaotic evils if you didn't set it on fire.
Mm-hmm.
It trapped him in there.
All right. So Remy, you've
You know, I'm actually really glad that Tobiyashi isn't a spellcaster, because the first thing I'd see him do is cast polymorph so that he could turn into a T-Rex.
Cast is my favorite class, though.
All right, so Tobiyashi.
I'm just assuming everybody has seen the first Jurassic Park film, so
Well, I did, so yeah. But even you, Tobiyashi, have to admit that smell coming out of that outhouse is impressive, and not in the best way.
Hopefully, like, knocks him out or something, you know?
Well, you hear him. Just, come on, no, please, not again.
Not again.
Again.
It's happened before, so, you know. I just look around, I'm like, feel bad for him. And then I go hide in the house.
All right, so Remy, as you hear the ticking clock of a desperate man trying to break out of a stinking room, what do you do in this final room? Do you try to rummage through everything as fast as you can? Rely on Tobiyashi's poor sense of moral that's going to keep him there until he suffocate from stench?
well, he's been given more time. So he is going to just rummage around to see if, like, and most notably, like, you know, if there's just, like, for example, an unopened or an unread, like, a form, but, like,
Okay.
ideally, but even if there's anything else in there,
All right,
like, worth taking note of, then he'll keep an eye for that.
investigation.
I was going to get that 20 eventually.
Damn.
Oh,
Okay. Well,
Actually, this is the most rolls I've made in a long time.
you have this moment of feeling so bad for the poor guy outside who's basically trying to break down the door as he's being overwhelmed by bad scent, and you know that it's all Tobiyashi's fault right now. But you have this moment of, oh, poor guy. Then you start rummaging, and you have just this instinct, this moment of, you know, he's probably the kind of guy who's going to put some sort of paperweight on top of something important. And your eyes just fall directly on this little candle that's 2/3 consumed. You take it up and you see under it a form that's been completely rolled out. Although nothing on it is good for what you want, there's no important signature there. The information on it is something that you can definitely use. A team has been dispatched to take care of the cocoon. They're supposed to arrive in 2 days. They have been granted permission to use whatever means necessary to get to the cocoons and take care of them.
Let's go. Is it dated?
I mean, I was going to ask that, but, you know, like...
This is why I
Sorry.
said in 2 days. The information on it allows you to know that they're going to be arriving in 2 days. From where you
Okay,
are
so it
right
doesn't
now.
literally say 2 days, but, you know, like,
No.
2 days from the current date.
Yes. So this is
just like
what you find on the desk.
so Raimi is like taking special note of that. Like between that.
There are no mention
Although it's
on
only-
what the team composition is going to be, even. Simply it state that the team has received approbation to take whatever means they want to get to the cocoon, get rid of it, and come back.
Vague. The best, like it's every rogue's like favorite 5-letter word. Yes, it's taking note of that, gently putting it back exactly as he found it, even though this man probably is not in a mental state to
Notice a whole lot of things. Tobiashi, you hear him cry.
Nothing good.
You hear him scratch on the door. Feels like someone who's about to faint. No, he's just there. Come on. Come on. Open.
Come on, Remy, get out of there. Remy, the sooner you get out, the sooner I can let him out.
Well, since Raimi has pretty much found everything he was looking for and has really no need to worry about resources now. Well, that's not entirely true, but you know what I mean. He's just simply going to ethereal jump out of this room to the outside.
You hear Tobiashi, audience, Jorg, and Fisher. You hear a loud scream of something said in Dwarven. I believe, audience, since you know Dwarf, you can recognize that it's a name probably of a pet. And just followed by, please come and help me. Don't leave me there. Please.
The dog is there, like
He's screaming this as loud as he can.
Audience would just shake his head at Jorg. It'd be like, "Don't worry, it's not us."
if I see Remy come out, I'm like, all right, let's get out of here.
What kind of torture has Raimi and Toby gotten themselves into?
Alright, so Tobiashi and Remy, you hurry up to go back to the fence.
I'll release the silk as soon as we jump over the fence.
You run to the fence where your friends are waiting, and as you are arriving and you see this, and you see on the other side, through the hole that Remy has done with his leg going through part of the fence, you see the audience's head there, and right, you know that he's there. But on your side, Jorg, audience, and Fisher, you do see the Mill E arriving, slowly walking toward where you are. There's no chance that Tobiashi and Remy has enough time to climb over this and go rejoin with you and then leave before you are seen.
Time to pull out the drunken distraction. Audience will start swaying with his thing and start singing and wandering towards the Millie, trying to seem very drunk.
I will grab Jorg by the shoulder and go.
Mm-hmm. I'll grope at audience.
It's time to go home.
Stagger, being dragged by Fisher.
It's time to go home.
Alright, well, audience or Jorg, you can give assistance to the other one for a deception roll.
I'm gonna assist.
Would that
audience.
be performance or deception? Because I'm drunkenly
Well, see,
Swank.
because that's a good point.
Both.
Yeah, if you want, I can allow performance.
Okay. I will roll with performance then. And you say you're giving me advantage, Jorg?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's helping you. He's playing the drunk, and technically
He's
Fisher
groping
also,
you.
but he's so
I'm
emotional.
groping you.
I heard it.
Alright, that is a 22.
I said,
22.
I got a
All right.
Wow.
So.
I'm a very convincing drunk. I've done it many times.
So as audience stumbles around and starts talking loudly, and fortunately for this, it also gives Tobiyashi and Remy a clue, as when you arrive next to the fence, you hear audience slurring very loudly, talking to Jorg, giving you an impression that either audience is playing the drunk or he's actually drunk on a mission. From Tobiyashi's point of view, both could be accurate. From Remy, all he knows audience a little bit better. Although, depends. You know, if he encountered a girl.
Probably not a stealth mission. Probably not. I would just be getting drunk.
Well, unless he gives you free alcohol. And says that she'll follow you if you drink.
Mission comes first. Mission comes first.
Okay.
It looks like you're going through something. Let's wait a second.
Right. So you hear this from the other side of the fence. Audience is putting on quite a show, and an impressive show. Even for you, Tobiyashi and Remy, you still even you, Remy, you have a pretty good passive insight, and you have a moment of, what? He's drunk, and just okay, he's probably playing. It's convincing. Especially when he turns around and starts trying to walk toward Jorg and just trips over and grabs Jorg's pants and just pulls on them as he's falling. And oh, sorry. It's very convincing.
Mm-hmm.
You see Jorg
It's more
panicking as he's
convincing when
trying
Jorg
to
doesn't
hold
pull his
back.
pants back up. It's just-
It's all right. He's obviously acting. He'd never pull down another man's pants.
And you see a genuine panic in Jorg's eyes as he's trying to hold his pants from not falling.
Wait till we see the Millie leave.
Yeah, I'll start like escorting them back to the tavern.
Is the Millie distracted by us?
Well, the Millie comes closer toward all of you and looks at the situation for a moment, and you trying to leave. The Millie turns toward you, Fisher, and simply says, "Do you need assistance? There are more." Hold on, I'm just stuck with my own words. There are more drunkards present than you have allies. Do you need assistance?
Say yes.
Yes.
Why would you say yes?
Because it will take the Millie away from where Remy and Toby.
Oh, yeah. Wait, but I thought they could handle it, and we were supposed to just do this to avoid them.
They can't hit
Well,
him.
I'm drunk.
Do you say
I'm
out
not-
loud?
I'm not
Say this
responsible.
out loud.
No. I'm just confused. Like, oh.
Alright, so the Mill E comes right
They go,
beside you.
Yes.
Takes
Assist me in escorting them back to the inn where they are staying.
the Mill E looks at you for a moment and says, "It would be more prudent to bring them to bring them to the brig. They could harm themselves. This is quite a way out of town. Sorry. Of the station."
They aren't that drunk.
What is your base of observation for this? They have trouble walking.
They aren't resisting me.
resisting.
They also have not pursued further sexual acts, suggesting that they are still of right sound mind and body.
Make a persuasion roll, please.
Don't worry, guys. I got this.
You're breaking protocol. You're breaking his protocol, so of course he's suspicious about something.
That's 2 minus 1.
Well, you can't always be. I rolled a 3, so he doesn't believe.
Fisher, you had to do so little. The two robots rolling against each other. The 3 beats is the winning roll, of course.
The procedure is to bring them to the guard station and have them live out their drunken state until morning.
I'll just look at Fisher like, that's fine. Like, just get, like, we can sit at a guard station till morning. It's not a big deal.
I'm not drunk.
You're drunk.
I will. Then I guess I'll just say. All right.
Okay.
They don't seem to talk much, and anytime I try and talk more, I mess things up. So.
That's okay.
Actually, I do have to wonder, can this Millie hear the shouting of the dwarf?
Probably, and he's not reacting.
This has happened quite a bit, I guess.
He's used to it.
So, Audience and Jorg are both being taken toward the station and being put in the security office of this. Well, now you have an interesting problem.
Well, I never said I was going to go all the way to the brick. I just said I was going to go a little ways away and wait for it.
Okay.
Knowing that the Remy and Toby would have gotten out.
All right. So, fortunately for you, Audience, Fisher did say that he was taking you. So, the Mill E doesn't get to see your face. He only gets to see Jorg's face, which would have immediately sold you out.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps on walking for a while. Maybe after 3 or 4 minutes, Tobiashi and Remy, you're confident that they have walked far enough. And Remy, if you need more confirmation, your cat can confirm that they are currently out of sight. If you do this carefully, you'd be able to get out without drawing more attention.
All right.
Remy gives an after you motion to Toby.
All right. I go up the wall. Okay. A roll.
Athletic or acrobatic?
$16.
Okay. Even though it is completely rotten, if you remember correctly, it's this exactly same roll that you made to enter, so it's enough to get you out.
And then I help pull up Remy. Come on, Remy. God, you got some weight on. No, I'm just playing. I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's got 2
as
new
soon as
pieces of paper. It's more weight.
As soon as I get Remy over, I'm gonna release the silk that's wrapping the guy inside the bathroom, and then
All right.
get my keyboard
Well,
back.
first, to pull Remy out, your silk with advantage.
Oh, my silk. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
'Cause you could still roll a natural 1
Double 9, so 9.
with proficiency.
Yeah, 15.
And that's okay. You're trying to drag Remy over that wall. So once again, the DC is 15, so you manage it. It's just enough. Remy, you have a moment where you feel like, what's happening? I hear like this fence cracking, and that's not going to be pleasant. Oh, okay. Good. No problem. You're over.
Like, you knew he shouldn't have, like, taken those papers.
You know, the silk was even starting to tear because Tobiashi didn't notice that there was a splinter of wood there, and he was
Split it in
getting
half.
torn off as he was pulling on it. Fortunately, it was not enough to destroy it, and you managed to pull yourself over that wall. And believe you are safe for now. Tobiashi, you release your silk. You hear in the distance, "Thanks to God!"
Fresh air.
You mutt! You didn't help me! Audience Jorgen Fisher. They're going to drag you all the way to a security post inside of the station, inside of the town. So when do you decide that it's far enough and you want to do something?
Pretty much once we're like, I'd say like a minute past out of sight. So therefore, and I assume that they'll have had enough time to like get out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna kind of lean in because Fisher's taking me. I'm gonna kind of lean to Fisher and be like, okay, they can't see my face, so what's gonna happen is I'm gonna elbow you. You're gonna go down, and I'm gonna run. And yeah, that's my plan right now. I assume they're gonna probably drop Jorg, and worry about me.
Alright, sell it.
Okay. So I'm gonna elbow, not actually elbow, but I'm gonna like look like I'm throwing an elbow into Fisher. I assume he's gonna let go of me, and then I'm gonna take off.
Yeah.
Me and Remy start sneaking back to the tavern.
All right. Once again, it's an interesting performance that you keep on going. Elbow Fisher, and you start running as Fisher just lets you go. Topples over. Scream in pain. I don't know.
Yeah, I double over, I guess.
Okay.
Stumble, and then give it a second, and then start chasing after him.
All right. So how is he going to react to this? He turns toward you, Jorg, for a moment.
I don't know that guy.
Never met in my life.
He looks at you for a moment. He looks at your ankle, and you see the crystalline elements inside of him just exude and jump on your ankle. It surrounds your ankle, and it anchors itself in the ground. He simply says, "Stay here.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it's going to tear off your ankle." And he starts running after audience.
When he's out of sight, I'm going to turn into a snake, which canonically has no ankles. And then,
Canonically.
and slither away,
All right.
assuming there's no one around.
So like there's some canons where snakes do have ankles, but in these canons there are none.
Well, they do say that actually a snake is a creature with 1 foot, So.
Oh, it's all ankle.
So. That's an interesting solution. I like it.
Cool.
It works. You turn into a snake, and the moment you turn into something, you see it, you feel it starting to squeeze. But the moment that your shape officially stops being that of a humanoid and becomes a reptile, especially a snake, you feel the pressure stop building, and you can just slide out and move away.
Cool.
Quite honestly, it's because you didn't need to mention it, but because you chose a creature that technically does not have a foot, worked. If you changed in something that had feet, it would have changed with you.
Yeah, I was worried about that because last time I did that, that would have happened. But they had it around my neck, which is a lot harder to avoid.
So, good thinking. You managed to slide out and go hide in the tall grass. Well, slightly frozen grass, because at this time of the night it's starting to be quite chilly, and you're cold-blooded. So a minute or two after you start sliding, you're not sure why, everything starts going slower around you.
Oh no.
Then you realize, because you have all of your wits, because it's changed shape and not polymorphed. Oh, that's right, it's cold-blooded. I am going to let you reassume a normal shape without having to make any roll.
It's like, wait, where's Jork? We go the next morning, we find his corpse.
Stiff snake on the ground. Someone's gonna get the cool new quarterstaff, though.
Alright, so, audience, because you start running and sprinting, you have an actual melee that's trying to catch up to you. So,
I assume I have a little distance because he stopped talking.
I know.
Yeah, because if it stopped to do that to Jorg and I started chasing after him, if we break line of sight with it, I would like to keep chasing audience in the wrong direction. Like if audience takes a left and the Millie doesn't see that, I'm gonna take a right. So if it's, trying to catch up to me, I will have lost audience after a little bit.
Alright, in that case, interesting plan. You start running, and the moment you don't see it, you start running in a different direction. So which is he gonna choose? Because he's not running watching you, Fisher. He's running watching the ground. So he does see something. And he's tracking something. But who between the two of you wants to be blue and who wants to be black?
I'm blue.
Abba-dee-abba-die.
Well, this time it was the black, the good decision, and the unit doesn't start running after Fisher. He keeps running after you, audience. You turn around for a moment. You have a half a second of a break, and you just go, "Oh, damn!" He's running in your direction.
Okay.
Use the ball bearings trick. Drop some oil on the ground.
So.
No, I'm not going to do that. I am going to keep running, though, because I don't think it's faster than me.
Well, that's what we're going to see. Athletic.
Well, you see, if you just done like the responsible thing like several sessions ago and bought just like a whole tub of lube and just ready to go.
That's a 20 on athletics.
20 on athletic?
Yeah.
Well, since both of you are running, he also has a total of 20. So he's not making ground, but you're not distancing him.
So what? I'm probably like 120 feet ahead of him because he stopped for that first second.
Well, but you also stopped to see if he was chasing you, and then you realize that, fuck, he's not following Fisher. So,
Okay, so I'm like 60.
well, I'll
70.
say, I'll give you 100 feet, about.
Okay, about 100 feet. All right, I'll do the classic, and I'll keep just dipping into different alleys.
Okay.
Kind of, I don't know. I actually probably wouldn't go back towards the inn. I'd actually might head for a side entrance.
Okay. Well, if I'm not mistaken, there are only one entrance and one exit on this one. So
Well,
you'd either had the chance to go to the main exit or the train yard.
I don't think I'd head to an exit then if there was only one. Yeah, I don't think I'd head to an exit if there was
Alright,
only
so
one.
you try
There's
to.
more millies at the train yard. I told you that.
Yeah.
So if you get to the train yard itself, you're gonna have more millies, but maybe you can lose it before this. So what's it going to be? You're trying to lose someone. I'm gonna leave it up to you. You can leave it up to your ability to remember the lay of this town, because you've walked in it quite a bit during the day, and figure a way to lose him. Or you can just use your guts and pick one street, and pick one street. The difference being you can roll investigation or perception.
I guess perception, because that's one higher.
All right.
Get a +0 instead
So
of a
you go with your guts.
nat 20.
Hey, boy.
Not natural 20. So all right, so you go left, you go right, you go under a
I know these
fence.
streets like the back of my hand.
You go left, you go right, you go under. Hi, Raimi.
And you look back after maybe 5 or 6 minutes of running. Because it's athletic, even though you were running, your shirt tore off. You look back and you don't see it.
Okay.
It rolled a grand total of 13. But like I said, natural 20 can only beat by a natural 20. So
Alright. I would then probably head back towards the inn
all right.
once I lost it.
Takes a few minutes, but eventually everyone arrives at the inn. Fisher, eventually you realize that no one's following you, so you stop running and you have to decide to
Yep.
either try and find audience or...
I think I'd head back.
Okay.
Audience.
Audience will figure it out.
Jorg
George.
is just a completely rigid snake just scooting around on the ground.
Well, George, probably after a while you transform back, especially when you start
Yeah.
realizing that the cold is making you think slower.
Mhm.
And
My
so...
blood's all slow.
Probably the first ones to arrive at the inn would be Tobiashi and Remy. Then followed by Fisher and maybe a few minutes later Jorg. And then a good 5 or 7 minutes later, audience arrived at the inn. Slightly winded and with his shirt torn off again.
Well, that went better than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Remy got a bunch of stuff, so you guys can talk about that. I'm gonna go to bed.
In the barn, because you didn't want to
Yeah.
pay.
Didn't even wait for the post successful heist. Fuck, I see how it is.
Yeah, I did. You know, I'm tired. I'll do it next time. I'll be in the next one.
It's all good. We should probably all get some sleep. Are we gonna just head out? Remy, do we have enough where we can just basically head to the train station tomorrow?
Whoa. I thought we were going to go find Civ.
All right, yeah, Civ. We have. How long do we have, Remy, for this plan to take action?
Raimi holds up 2 talons.
Like, 2. I assume that means 2 days.
It's like a thumb up.
Okay. All right. I guess we have 2 days to try and find Civ then. So we'll.
That's not much time.
It's not a lot of time. I guess.
Well, if you if you remember last episode, the members of the guild, the hunters, did say that they were going to go back to their camp in the morning.
Yeah. So I just need someone to let us know when the hunters are leaving, and then we can follow them.
Okay.
All right. So I guess this means Audience and Remy go back to their room. Jorg and Tobiyashi go into the barn and sleep with the horses and the hay. And Fisher stands outside in his guardian state and just watch the entrance all night long so they don't miss the hunters leaving. No, interesting. And he has the ability to send messages, so he can literally let you know.
Audience will sleep in his clothes, ready to go, so that he can just jump out of bed and head out when he gets the message.
All right.
I get on my pajamas, get all comfortable.
You make pajamas out of your silk, you mean?
No, I'll be in my clothes too, just so we could get up.
Mm-hmm. You guys have separate pajamas.
You know, that's just a very interesting thing to say, as far as like just I sleep in my clothes, because then it just implies that you've been sleeping most nights entirely naked.
Yeah. Who doesn't? It's like the best way to sleep.
You think Audience doesn't sleep naked? Come on.
Especially since he's being slowly covered.
I believe that Audience sleeps naked, but like Tobiyashi, it's a bit more of a gray area.
I gotta keep.
He just has one little loincloth of silk when you sleep.
All right. So, with this, you all go to bed. You all prepare to go to sleep. Tobiyashi, as you're creating your silk pajama, you do notice one funny thing on your leg. Your right leg, the one that went through the boards, probably got stung by a splinter that just went in and out. But there's a little bit of blood on your leg. The color is weird. And you see where it is, and you just rub it off, and you see a little bit more coming out, but it's slightly orange.
He's infected.
He's infected!
Got him!
I'll wrap it with some silk after cleaning it a little bit, and I'll start playing like with the liquid, looking at it. Is it like viscousy? Is it like
slimy a little?
Gross. I knew I shouldn't have accepted that free handy. No, I'm just playing. I won't think much of it. Maybe a little bit. I'll worry about it tomorrow. I'm tired. I just hope I didn't leave any blood at the scene of the crime.
Now we know how every single horror movie starts. You know, you keep saying that no one's that stupid that they're gonna notice that they're injured and not gonna take care of it. No, we have it there.
Toby's the guy that hides that he got bit by his aunt.
I'll tell Jorg about it. I'll be like, I have weird blood.
Whoa.
Okay, dude.
Look at it.
Gross.
Look at it. I'll show it to him.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. Is that your regular blood? I'll pull out a knife. You want to find it?
Wait a minute. Here,
and then I'll just scrape it up a little bit and look at it. But I assume I don't recognize it.
Well,
Some
I'd
roll
say
medicine.
because you're someone that's intimately knowledgeable of a tiny blob in a jar, I don't know, it feels like the viscosity of this thing feels a bit similar to that blob in your jar.
Whoa. Does it look? Is it the same color?
No, his is orange,
Oh.
your blob is green.
If I put it in there, do you think my blob would turn orange? Maybe it would die.
He just turned his blob into a
So
cannibal.
Uh,
Let me see
my
that.
direction.
we should probably investigate that fence tomorrow
If
Maybe if we have
What?
time.
if we have time. Like something weird.
what?
This is like the same consistency as that blob that I've got.
What does that have to do with the fence?
That's where you got the
So I got
The-
stabbed.
stabbed from the
Just a
That's where
little
the blob-
splinter.
orange goop came from.
Oh,
That's weird.
Yeah, I've never blood like that before.
Yeah, is there regular blood in his body that we know of?
You want me to test?
Well, up until now, you'd only seen Tobiyashi bleed normal human blood.
Yeah, and this is actively coming out of him.
Yeah,
Well, I tied it up with silk, but
it just creates a
yeah.
little bubble, just like normal blood if you've been stabbed by a nasty
Yeah.
shard of wood. So it's not gushing out. It's just it makes a little bubble, and if you wipe it, it stays on your hand, and you recognize that it holds itself better than normal blood, and it has a slight orange color. It's still a little bit red,
So
but
this
it
is
has
what
a
eel
slight
tetanus
orange
looks
color.
like.
I have rabies, guys.
Oh no! We're gonna have to put you down. Sorry.
Damn.
Well, gross and weird, I guess. We'll figure this out
can I
next
do a
time.
medicine check?
You can if you want to.
The fuck is my medicine?
I got a 13.
-1. 12.
12. You're a bit stumped. I mean, it's obviously coming out of Tobiyashi's leg, and short of getting the permission to punch him out until he bleeds from his nose, there's no real way of figuring out if it's in his system or if it's the wound itself that's causing this.
Maybe we could find a doctor.
Is he? I mean, George, do you want to? Is he still like wounded?
It's
Yeah,
just a
not
small
really, like,
splinter. It's
Oh, okay.
It's still coming out as if it was blood. It just creates a small bubble, and if you wipe it, it stays on your hand, and it just bleeds slightly, just a little bit. But it just keeps bleeding out this color, and it holds itself a little bit better than traditional blood.
That's pretty weird.
Is there any? We're in like the stables.
yeah.
Yes.
Is there anybody else around?
Currently, no.
I'm gonna pick a back corner of the stables, and I would like to. One of you keep watch for a bit. Ritually cast detect magic.
Smart.
Blood.
I'll keep watch.
Dude, you got orange slime coming out.
I don't know if that's but we live in a magical world. I have no idea where it's coming from.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to figure out what the magic might be.
All right. Well, we'll keep watch. Wait for you to finish that.
So you ritually cast detect magic and aim it toward Tobiyashi. The result you get is alarming. There's no magical trace. Zero
In reality,
magical
it's
trace
just a
around
new
the
STD.
room. So it's entirely
Oh
biological.
god, I
what's
gotta get
happening.
myself checked now.
It's not a magic poison. It's not a spell that's been placed on him. It's actually biologically happening.
It's Tobe AIDS.
Well, it's not magical.
That's good. Maybe.
Maybe?
It. Yes and no.
Are you saying I'm like?
I'd lean more towards no because magic is relative or can be easy to stop.
So you're
I don't
saying
know what
have
to do about.
These?
I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah, that's what I said. We should find a doctor.
Mhm.
I'm not too worried
Aren't
about.
you supposed to be a doctor, Jorg?
I mean, I'm a animal doctor. I don't usually deal with orange
He was a
blood.
vet. He's like, if you need me to cut his balls off, I could do that. But other than that,
Well, you do technically have to deal with injured people. 'Cause
Yeah,
part of your
there
job
wasn't a
is
huge-
to create the bridge between nature and people. So you do deal with
Mhm.
injured people.
Yeah, I dealt with a lot of injured people. I've never seen orange blood before.
Okay.
I blame the gnomes.
Just
Yeah.
to double check, this just started happening now, right?
I just seen. Yeah, it might. I don't know. I haven't gotten cut in a
When
while.
was the last? Yeah, I
Bear.
guess when was the last time you were bleeding?
Last
When we got
time
attacked by the bear.
Tobiyashi got injured was several days ago.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I was bleeding regular then, so I don't know what could
Mhm.
have changed. Maybe it was
Okay.
blood.
Well, I guess,
Keep an eye on it.
yeah. Is it still like actively oozing?
No, it was just like it's just drops of blood. I have it covered with silk now. I could test it if you want me to. I could cut myself.
It's literally the same thing as if you take a needle and you prick your finger. It's going to bleed out a little bit, create a bubble, but it's not going to...
Mm-hmm. Okay. But he is like bleeding it. It's not like
It appears
something
so, yeah.
else that's going on.
No,
Okay.
every time you wipe it, and it just comes out a little bit, forms a little, like, normal blood bubble, but the consistency is wrong, and the color is slightly orange.
Wait, that's not Toby. That's a mimic.
Wait a minute, guys. Wait.
Well, Mimic have purple blood, so...
The real Toby would understand that now you have to die. I'm kidding. Just I guess go to sleep.
Yeah,
Alright,
we'll
we'll
deal with it. So just walk
Deal
it
with
off.
it
Go
at
to
some
sleep.
point.
Chops his neck.
Go to sleep. Go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Gushing.
Stay relaxed.
Don't worry, I'll watch over you.
Okay. Can you
Me too.
run your ASMR procedure for me, please? And no,
Well-
I'm kidding. I'll
Well,
start
the
heading.
ASMR procedure is quite intense.
Yeah, I can't actually do it. That's Terranad, and so it's a bit rough.
Well, Avery, the consciousness of Jorg wants to go to bed too.
Consciousness.
All right. Well, it was the last thing on today's stream, that orange
yeah.
thing. So
Mm.
the moment you stop fussing about it, we can all go to bed.
Just one more thing.
Just one more thing. You stabbed.
Okay, yeah. Toby, go to sleep.
All right.
If you, turn into a noose, I'll kill it.
Thank you for doing that for me.
You're
Make
welcome.
sure it actually turned into one. Like I don't want to be like half conscious.
All right. So relax.
Okay.
Jorg, meat cleaver, please. Stretch out your neck.
Yep, I'll just stick a tourniquet on this until the morning. That's what a doctor would do.
Okay. Yeah. Just in case.
Mm-hmm. Let's say you chop balls off, so maybe it's the same thing.
I mean, a good doctor would just also eliminate patient zero.
Mhm.
I'm becoming a zombie.
All right. So, with this, Tobiashi decides to go to sleep. George insists that it's nothing. I don't want to sleep.
Yeah,
Train
Get
yard
over it.
all night long.
dreaming.
EP.
Audience and Remy are already sleeping.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
sick
they get to
bed.
sleep in the building.
I'm sorry, audience. You didn't do a whole lot today. I feel awful because I saw you were about to fall asleep. What can I make him do?
I ran from a guard. That was good.
I know.
I rolled my nat. I rolled my
You got
nat
your blood
20.
pumping.
I rolled my nat 20 for the day.
All
We're
right.
good.
All right. So that concludes tonight's episode. You are
Oh,
better.
I rolled my nat.
What?
I rolled my nat 1 for the day.
Oh,
I just
okay.
wanted to get a nat 20 before bed, but no, can I
No,
have
it's
it?
okay. You got your
You got the
natural one
opposite.
while watching his wound, so it's not. Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
It's probably just because he's tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, good lord. All right. So. Tonight's episode ends with more information, a possible solution to get a free pass for train and get onto those track, but possibly having to beat a monster. But apparently next episode we're going to try and save or have confirmation that Civ is dead or needs to be rescued. And if we do this really quickly, we'll get to a fight with a spider thing.
That
Yes,
wolf.
we are well known for doing things quickly.
We're also well known. We're also well known for fighting spiders.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
fought the demon spider.
Mm-hmm.
Fought other spiders.
No. Could be both. Alright, so
Yeah, a two-headed ethereal spider. Yeah.
Yeah, we fought a lot of spiders.
We're the time spiders.
and Tobiashi tried to get a pet demon spider, sorry.
Calling
Well, we
all
don't know.
spider
Technically,
fighters.
he
Yeah.
still has it. It's just in the
Let's
garden.
get
Yeah.
back, see if it's still alive.
Oh yeah.
Well, you asked them to take care of it, so they will.
It's gonna be
think-
giant when we come back.
I think Anne turned it into a robot. But that was
Alright, so with this, thank you for watching, thank you for being there. I hope you had a very pleasant whatever part of the day, of the unit of measurement of the cycle, I don't know. It is where you are, and we hope you'll be there next Wednesday or Friday if you're watching the rebroadcast. And don't worry, Little Man Lil, I will read your extremely long message after the stream because I don't have time to read super long message while we're playing. And for those of you watching this on Friday, that was a comment for Wednesday. I'm pretty there's a good chance he's not actually there right now. But what is unique to you is that if we get at least 3 raiders, we're gonna try and raid someone. Dungeons and Dragon. But if we can't get Dungeons and Dragon and Tobiashi's there, well, you know, he always loves seeing us arrive. And that's it. That's all we can do tonight. So, as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support us with money by giving donation, becoming Patreon, because we do have a Patreon. The information is below. Subscribe on Twitch, because you can subscribe now. We all saw it tonight. Audience was afraid that he'd get killed for some reason. It was just the wrong episode, but still, you know, I appreciate
Always
it.
good to be safe.
Just to
I
make
mean,
sure
a
the
subscription's a whole good for a month. Good for a whole month. So
Yeah, no, it's a lasting protection. It's a bonus, you know, +2. Or if you can't do any of those, helping us, following us, you can always do something that's very free, that doesn't require a whole lot of time. You don't even have to leave a like or leave a message. You can just spread the word of this channel to your friends, distant and close one. Get them to come watch us. It helps tremendously, I promise. And so with this, thank you very much. See you next week. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.